So these here are my aquarium fish racks and my fish tanks as well. And I've got to say, I've just been neglecting all of this quite a while. You can see everything is really messy. And I've been moving a lot of stuff around. I've been working on quite a bit of things, but I just haven't been putting much time into the tanks, and I think I'm just not happy with this layout right now, so I want to make a few changes. Let me give you an update on some of the tanks right here. So this tank right here, the guppy tank, I'm planning to put some guppies in soon, but it's just not been doing well at all. Well, some of these plants, the dwarf sage is doing alright, the water wisteria is doing good, but the plants in the back, the 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝗀𝘀𝘀, some of them are doing okay, like you can see these right here. But then if you take a look further behind, you can see a lot of them are rotting away, kind of like melting, and I don't know what's going on. And then this right here, the 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝗀𝘀𝘀, you can see we put a big piece in right there, but now it's just this tiny piece. It had a Nubius rot, so I had to cut away a large portion of it, and it's still rotting, so this piece is definitely not good anymore. So yeah, this is this tank. I'm having some trouble. I don't know what the issue is, but it's not that good. Then next to that, I've got this tank, the Cardinal Tetra and the Honey Gourami tank. They are all looking good. This tank is like probably one of my favorites right now. It's just so simple. The Vallisneria is growing, and I like this tank. Down below is just this tank that I don't know. It's like a plant stocking tank right now, and I just don't know what it is. I think I'm too much of a perfectionist, that I want things to look the way I want them before I can start doing stuff right. And I don't know, I'm not a perfectionist, but I kind of feel like I want to be a perfectionist. So I just didn't have a plan to start with, because all this, I didn't build any structure. I just went with one thing and then added another thing, added another tank, and then just build another stand right here, and I never thought it all out. But I've taken some time, I've thought about stuff, and now I think I'm ready. I know what I want to do, so I'm gonna clean this place up, and I think I'm also going to build another rack, which is kind of odd, but I have a plan this time. So I was watching all the YouTube videos, and I saw how satisfying it was taking all these chunks out, and I was wondering, is it really that satisfying? And the answer is, it really is. Look at that. Comes out so easily. I don't have the right tools for it, but take a look at that. That's awesome. This is the best part. Probably the main reason why I chose to do dado rack, so that I could do this. Alright, so it's day 2 now. This is what I have done. I only had a half day yesterday, so I didn't have much time to get a lot done. So I did get these dado joints put together. Cutting this part took the longest time, but it's also quite fun because I've never used a circular saw before, and it's my first time using one. It is quite an experience. So this right here is the circular saw. Before doing this whole project, I actually wanted to do this a while back, but I never believed I could because I didn't have the right tools. But then I realized I could rent it from the home center, and they let me rent this for like 300 yen for 3 days, which is less than $3, less than $1 a day for 3 days. So really good deal there. So now all I gotta do is put these two together, and I've gotta attach the sides in so that the tank can sit on it. Before I do this though, I want to go to the home center once again just to get a few more pieces of wood so that I can start building the second stand, which is going to go over here. Things may be a little bit confusing right now, but these two new things that I'm building right now are for a 4-foot tank system that will sit in place of this metal rack right here. And then I'm going to build another one, same way like this, the Dado Joints, that will sit in place of this wooden one that I recently built. And I'm going to use this rack for a different purpose. Use it for like a tire storage rack or something, because we've just got tires sitting out here. These are my summer tires, and then these are my uncle's, I'm not sure what this is, like his other tires. He's got 2 sets, and I've got my winter ones on right now, so yeah, we need a place to store tires as well. So I'm thinking of using this brown wooden rack to become a tire storage rack, and I think that would be quite cool. Lunch and beverage. This iced lemon tea is probably the best drink in the world. All set, now let's go back and finish this. Hey guys, it's currently day 4. The tires that were here have moved, and I'll show you where they are. Pretty excited, but let's go inside. And I've got to clean this door because this door is a mess. Alright, so check that out. Right here, I've stacked the tires on this rack. So this was the rack I built last time, and I really like it, but for some reason I wanted to change styles. I'll show you the new racks that I built. But this fits the tires perfectly, and I would like to modify it a little bit by lowering this down so that we don't waste so much space here. I would also like to get the top tires to stand straight, kind of like how we have down here, so that it looks better, but that's not a priority right now. As long as it holds the tires, I think it's great. I really like it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But yeah, I'll keep updating you on this. And these right here are the new stands that I just built, 2 of them. One for the 4-foot tanks and one for a 3-foot tank, as well as nano tanks. So really, really fun, and I really like this design. All the weight from the tanks are placed right on the legs of these stands. I just really like this design. It's much more simple and it's cleaner. And also I changed the height a little bit. Right now they're sitting on some wood on the bottom so that I don't like get the legs all dirty before painting it. So yeah, it is slightly lower than the previous stands, and I wanted it that way. Now all there's left to do is to paint this wooden rack, and I'm using this walnut exterior paint used for like wooden decks and stuff, so I'm excited to see how this will turn out. But I do like this color as well, the natural wood color, but you need to protect it, so that's what I'm gonna do now. It's gotten dark, but I have finally finished with the first coat. I might do a second coat tomorrow. I don't know for sure yet, but I will need to paint the undersides of the legs because that's like the most important part to paint, because you want to protect that as much as possible, because if you get the floor wet, then that part gets damaged. So I'm gonna paint that, and when I set this up, I'm going to have some like a rubber thing underneath, like a kind of like a shim, to protect it even more so that it has less chance of getting wet. And I'm having trouble speaking because it's cold and I don't like the cold. Also, we don't have lights in this garage, so I'm gonna have to stop for today. Give this video a thumbs up so that I can get some lights for this, because hitting the thumbs up really helps. Day 5, really happy with everything. I've finished painting, everything has dried. This right here is the 3-foot rack. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move this 4-foot rack over here. So I'm going to have to take this rack down. I'm not so sure what I'm going to do with it. Probably disassemble it and store it somewhere, or I'll just find a spot for this and use it as storage. But I'm going to drain these tanks down and move them onto this rack and push this thing back and try to set everything back up. I'm not so sure how I'm gonna get that done, but I'll try to figure it out. Temporarily move the top 2 tanks onto this new rack right here. And right now I'm draining this 4-foot tank with this hose into this bucket, and from this bucket into the drain, because I don't have a long enough hose right now. So really excited for once this all gets done. It's a really warm day today, surprisingly. Even though it's the winter, it feels like it's spring, so that's really nice about doing this all today, because I don't have to, I can unplug the heaters and the fish are just fine. You can see the cardinal tetras, the honey gouramis in there, and that white cloud minnow, I just saw it. Alright, I'm finally finished with these 2 stands, and I've got to say I'm tremendously happy with the outcome. Take a look at how this looks. Really love this color, this dark brown color. I think it looks amazing. Gives it such a warm feel, and that's what I really want. I like the metal racks too, but I don't know. I prefer this handmade thing better. Something that I built. I hope it'll work well. It should work well, because I've really done my best here. It's not perfect, but I've tried my best. Down below, I've measured out enough space so that I can stack some storage bins down below. Now I've also got to neaten up the cables over here, do some fine adjustments, and then I've got to move this 4-foot tank over here. So you can see this 4-foot tank, it doesn't fit perfectly on this rack. This rack is slightly larger than the tank, but this rack is the perfect size, so it'll fit really nice and snug. So we're saving a lot of space here. Right now this 4-foot tank is empty, and well, there's some plants and soil, but I'm going to be emptying this out and then moving it in here. The fish that were in there, I've moved into this tank, so this tank is like pretty stocked now. You can see the Tabor resplendens, the Asian rummy-nosed rasbora, one of my favorite fish. I love these fish, and they're coloring up right now. That is amazing. And also the crinum is floating in there right now. So with this tank right here, I'm going to rescape this. This is no longer going to be a guppy tank, but it's going to be a planted tank kind of similar to that one, and I'm going to make this just for my Asian rummy-nosed rasbora, because that is truly one of my favorite fish. I haven't mentioned them enough in my videos, but I'm gonna set this tank up just for them, and the guppy tank is going to go over here. Just look at that. Isn't that one of the most amazing fish ever? The Asian rummy-nosed rasbora. That's just so beautiful. This guy is special because he's got a little red spot on the side of his body, which is kind of unique. Usually they just have the red on their face and on their tails, but this guy, if he'll turn around, he's got that red spot there, so kind of unique. But a beautiful fish. I really want to get more of those. As always, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did like Squad, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. I'm excited for this fresh, brand new start. This time, with this new start, I'm gonna do things one step at a time, taking my time and thinking things through, because this tank right here, I wasn't thinking, I was rushing, and I don't know what I was doing. So I'm going to take my time and do things the right way. This tank is actually not that bad, but I don't know, I'm just not happy with it, and I know I can do something better than that, so I'm gonna come up with something better. Also, I've got some mystery fish in this little breeder box right here. I'm excited to unveil this to you guys soon. Subscribe if you haven't already so that you don't miss out on that, as well as many more projects to come, and I'll see you next time.